everyone, I'm Linda Reed-Enever, business founder, and excited to be talking Facebook ads today with the amazing Kara Lambert, who has just come back from social media marketing world, has some amazing tips to share with us, some amazing information. And if you don't have a notepad and pen ready, grab one now before we fully get started. I'm going to hand over to Kara to let her introduce yourself. But while I'm doing that as well, I've got to put a quick poll up on the screen for you now to just respond to let us know where you are in your Facebook ads journey, so that we get to have a bit of a feel about where we are today and a bit of a chat.
Thanks, Linda. Thank you everyone for joining us on the webinar today. As Linda has just said, I've recently returned just last week from Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. If you've never heard of it, what rock have you been living under? Seriously. No, but it's a conference run by Social Media Examiner, and it is one of the largest social media conferences in the world. So a little bit about myself. I have a degree in psychology, so everything that I teach comes back to the person. And that was one of the main things that came out of social media marketing world, is human-based social media. And after the Facebook apocalypse, people going, oh my gosh, you know, we've got to engage, we've got to understand our audience. And guess what? Facebook ads are no different. That is what I'm going to have this theme. You're going to have to pick, listen to find out where you're actually going to have to understand your audience, because Facebook ads, whilst most people believe it's all tech-based, let's just start with your audience and understand who they are and where they are and what they like and what motivates them. You're going to be guessing a lot of the time. Exactly. So keep watching.
Keep watching. I'm just going to launch the poll results so that we can see it now. Yeah. So 71% of our market have done a Facebook ad before.
Great.
14% no, and 14% are just starting to. So we get to know where everyone's sitting here today. So I'm going to stop sharing the results now. Guys, and what Kara's saying to you about people, and that doesn't just sit to Facebook ads. It's what I say in PR training. It's what I say in marketing training. If you don't write for the people, and it's the same thing with SEO. I love that you would have seen it come up in the last little while. The new SEO strategy is writing for the person first. It's what I've been telling my clients for 20-something years.
I don't know. You know, I'm exactly the same way. You know, I firmly believe that without people, you know, grabbing their phone and using social, there is no social media.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter whether it's Facebook ads or Instagram or Twitter, it does not matter. People first, it has to be.
Now, guys, we're going to give you a few more seconds to get your pen and your paper organized. There is no slides. There's nothing that you're going to be able to come back to. So please make sure you take notes. We will have the replay there, but we want you to take notes so that you get the most amazing information jotted down in your memory. And the psychologist and the marketer and trainer in me will say to you that if you write it down, the brain will hold it more.
Correct. Correct. You know, it's that brain-body loop. The feedback loop that we've got to get going. And go back and read these notes, read them out loud. You may feel like an absolute nong for doing it, but it then reinforces the loop the other way, and the learner picks up that. So I hope you've all got the pen and the paper. Like Linda said, there are no slides. I am not a death by PowerPoint kind of girl. I come from years of public sector work where I've sat through way too many PowerPoint presentations. So there are no PowerPoint slides. So look, what this comes from is that I'd seen a lot of comments in the business group about Facebook ads. There are beginner tips in this. There are ninja tips in this as well for those who feel like their next level, they need to go to the next level with their ads, or they want to reduce the costs and stuff like that. I've got that covered as well. Why Linda approached me is because we've been chatting about some other stuff, and I mentioned to her that I'd sold out a service for a client, $199 service on $10 a day ad spend. And this is to regional Queensland. So, you know, this was a cold audience. They'd never used the client before, and I had them booked out. And in fact, we still run this ad 18 months along from the initial time. I've done this for clients here in South Australia, because I'm based in South Australia, selling $300 products. So if you hear people say, oh, well, you know, you've got to have this ladder, you can't sell high ticket items straight off the bat using a Facebook ad, it's not true. You actually can, so long as you understand your audience first. You're going to be sick of me saying
that. Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and nod consistently, because that's what I'm going to say to you too, guys. You know, the reality of it is we understand our audience. You also might notice, and I'm going to come back to where one of the first things, because Kara and I have known each other for years. We follow each other on social media everywhere. She's been a BBB member for, I think, since the beginning, if not very shortly afterwards. Yes. The thing is, guys, when we talk about this, and one of the things I approached Kara was I wanted someone to talk about the Facebook zero thing and the not to hit the panic button. Because even some of the comments we see coming out about the Facebook algorithm now and the changes, and I'm not noticing any changes, I hate to tell you, it's not rolled out yet. It's rolling out, but it's not completely rolled out yet. So there is nothing that you can do to prevent this from happening. All you can do is engage your audience. And if you engage your audience and engage with them back, then you're going to get that. And that's why I approached Kara originally and said, okay, the first article BBB wants to run is one on Facebook Live and what business owners actually can do about it. I don't want to run hit the panic button.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing is, Linda, is that I'm actually a Facebook beta tester. So I will see changes to Facebook that may or may not occur before they are actually rolled out. And being in Australia, you know, they roll out different things to different audiences.
Yep.
So I'm going to see it first.
So this is a lady we'll be hunting down later in a year going, what the heck's going on?
Exactly. It's really interesting, because you know what, I get really excited by new features, then I have to remind myself going, oh, that may actually eventuate. But anyway, look, so what we were talking about, Facebook apocalypse is what they were calling it in the social media marketing world. Facebook Live, you know, the changes to the algorithm, the January changes. Regardless, it's still about putting the right thing in front of the right person at the right time and then motivating them to take action. And Facebook ads just shortcuts that. It shouldn't replace having a good, engaging, relevant content on your Facebook page. And the reason is that people will go back and research. In fact, here in Australia, about 80% of us will go and research a purchase online before we actually make the purchase. And about half of those will actually make that purchase online. So if you go to someone's Facebook page and they haven't updated it in, I know me, if they haven't updated it in the last month, I'm sorry, that's it, you're gone. I have a really high bar.
But I think a month, if you're not showing your audience that you care inside a month, then fair enough.
The algorithm turns over every 2 weeks. So you actually need to post every fortnight to remain relevant in the algorithm. So please, if I would say anything, a bonus point, post every fortnight.
Yep.
So look, that's one of the key things. I said to you that I've done this, that's how I started, was selling out these this service in Cairns, and that I've done it here in Adelaide. How I'm actually going to teach the Facebook ads is in the order that I actually construct a campaign. I'm not going to teach you, you know, any other way, because I've got to be honest, it's too confusing otherwise. So it's people first, people first, people first, people first. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is targeting.
Yep.
So what I want you to look at first is the top 3 ages of your fans on your Facebook page insights. A lot of people that are teaching Facebook ads will tell you to split test by age. Guess what? You can shortcut that by picking the top 3 age brackets for your Facebook page and replicating those into your ad. Unless you're trying to burst into a new marketing arena, it's the best and easiest way to get a start. So what I'm doing is I'm talking about audience insights.
Yep.
which is on the ads platform. Facebook has recently amalgamated the Power Editor and the Ads Manager together. And then you've got a couple of other tools. So I'm going to talk about Audience Insights is the other tool. Actually, in fact, it's the only tool I'm talking about today when it comes to running a Facebook ad. So grab those top 3 age profiles, age groups from your Facebook page and plug them into it. You'll also see the gender. So if you are mostly female biased or mostly male biased, run an ad to those, because you already know that they like and follow your page. And why try and, don't reinvent the wheel.
And don't try and convince someone who's not engaging to engage.
Exactly. So replicate what you're doing on your page, like who you're attracting on your page, over into your ad. Like I said, unless you're trying to go way outside of that. And I've got to be honest, that's ninja tips. That's outside. Just go. Where they live is another one. So, like I was targeting Cairns, or I target Adelaide, or, inner Western Sydney, or wherever. Look at where the bulk of your people live. Now, this is going to be a problem for those of you that back in the day bought Facebook likes. You are going to have skewed data. But this will all change. But look at where they are. Unless you want to broaden your audience, you can target. You can drop pins on suburbs and broaden them out for a radius. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to pick out suburbs. And I've got to be honest, unless you really, really seriously want to target the northern beaches of Sydney or inner city Melbourne or eastern Melbourne, don't do it. It's too expensive. Because everyone wants a piece of their purse. And so your ads are going to be far more expensive, and you're going to have to put more money into it, right? Target regional Australia. Put your services out to regional Australia if you can. If you're a local based business, target the areas that you want to work. It's perfect. And don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, very much so.
And the next thing is what pages do they like other than your own? And this is the key, right? So we're now moving into the interests part and the insights part. But what I wanted you guys to realize is there's so much data in your page insights that will shortcut you having to learn and experiment with your Facebook ads. So make the most of it. Facebook provides you with all of this data. So when it comes to targeting insights, I'm not talking about the guesstimate that Facebook uses. Please do not use their general insights. And you'll see that over in the right-hand side in the italicized writing that it says an interest. Be very, very careful which ones you choose. For example, I've got a great example. I love cat videos. I seriously love funny cat videos. And I was cacking myself last night. There was one that I saw where there were dogs and cats at each other, and they were playing with each other and tackling each other. It was hilarious. Now, if you used Facebook Insights to target people who liked cats, I would see your ad, because I like cat videos. The problem is that 1, I don't actually own a cat. 2, I'm highly allergic to them, so I will never own a cat.
Or buy the product.
Exactly. So if you use the insights that Facebook suggests for you, you are likely to get an audience that is totally irrelevant for your product or service. But what you can do is you can target pages directly, provided they are big enough, using the audience insights tools in Facebook ads. You can target magazines. So you can target Better Homes and Gardens magazines. I'm doing up one for a real estate agent on the Gold Coast at the moment. So we've targeted Century 21 and realestate.com.au and domain.com and, anything to do with housing.
Those pages,
Correct. So you can target pages directly. And that means that, you know, have you ever seen an ad and wondered why the heck you're actually seeing it? What you're doing is you're using Facebook and you're going, right, I want you to show my ad to people that like that page or that are likely to like that page. So it narrows your audience down. So once again, I get back to, you've got to know and understand your audience. You can target your competitors provided they are big enough.
Yes.
There is a word of warning on this though, right? So as an entrepreneur, business owner trying to target other business owners, small to medium enterprises, I will often look at places like, or people like Marie Forleo and Brene Brown and Gary Vaynerchuk, those kinds of people. The thing is they are incredibly expensive because they are high profile
people.
Piece of that pie.
Yep.
Or if you're targeting mums and you decide that you're going to target Lululemon, be prepared to pay big bucks for it. Or David Jones, you will pay money. Everybody else is trying to bid for this same piece of that pie. So please be aware. You've got the option to go a layer beneath. So I may not target Gary Vaynerchuk. I may target a lower level celebrity entrepreneur. Koshi is actually one that I target in Australia. Sorry, Koshi, if you're watching this.
Koshi is a BBB member.
So, you know, target.
I've heard from his team anyway.
Oh, have you?
We've got a number of the Koshi Business Builder teams in there, and apparently he's under a pseudonym inside the group.
So my secret is now out.
Your secret's out.
But you can target the next level down in the insights and build this audience based on their age, their gender, their location, and the pages that they're going to like. And the best thing is once you've got a few of those pages in the insights version, you can then, Facebook will make suggestions for you. It's like, oh, by the way, Linda, did you know that there's this one that you can target? And this, and this one? And as long as you look at that italicized text at the end and make sure that it's either says interest, magazine, TV show. You can target TV shows. Like you can target The Block.
Especially if you're a handyman. How perfect is that?
I know. It's perfect for tradies. So, yeah, just make sure you check that italicized text over in the right-hand side and get that right option. Don't choose. Make sure that you check that it doesn't say employer, because you don't want to, or you may not want
staff.
You don't want their staff. And the other thing is that when you get to employers and income levels and those kinds of things, you're then relying on what the person actually inputs into Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
and we know how bad people are at updating their resumes, let alone Facebook.
Yeah, you know, we love our ideal lifestyle, our curated lifestyle. So, yeah, don't rely on that kind of stuff. Rely on the pages, because we will tell the truth on the pages that we like. So, yeah, make sure you pick up those kinds of things. And if you don't find anything, there is also the option up the top. You've got the page likes. You've got the demographics when you're looking at audience insights. Up the top, the next one over is the page likes. Take a note of some of the pages that are in there, because there may be some other options. It's devised by category or industry. So, you know, you can see the bars and the shops and the TV shows and the newspapers and the radio stations. And you can then add them into your audience that you are building the profile of, that you want to target their fans, and put your ad in front of.
So I talked to our publicity guys about saying, look at where your audience, what publications do they read? It's the same thing here on Facebook. What are they liking? What are they getting involved in? Because that's where you want to be seen. So you want to be seen by those same people. So it's about doing that research about, once again, it comes down to research behind your audience. Who are they? What do they do? And where do they hang out?
Yeah. And the benefit of doing this, making sure that you've got a good audience based around your service and your business is that what happens then is Facebook gives you a relevance score.
Yep.
And the more relevant your ad is to your audience,
the more it's
the
likely
higher
to get
the
seen.
score, the more it gets seen. Bingo. So you've got to try and build this relevance and this score, and it lowers your ad costs. It's all about smart ad building, and using the data that Facebook gives you to get the best ad out there. So the next bit that I do after the audience, after the target, the best thing is about that you can save them and reuse them and tweak them, and it's just makes life so much easier. You can build them in the ad manager, but
Yep.
I say build an audience separate and then reuse them for various ads rather than reinventing the wheel. So the next thing that I do is I do up the image. And the thing is you can't slap any old image up and hope that it works. It's not going to happen. So, for example, I've seen and heard about people that are trying to target women, and they put up an ad of a guy. Or they're trying to target women over the age of 40, and they put up a photo of a woman in her 20s. Psychologically,
it's not relating.
It's
not relating.
Can't relate. Not relevant. It's your image helps tell the story of your ad.
Yep.
You're trying to build a relationship by using an ad. You're not just trying to, throw your stuff out there to as many people as possible, because the idea of your Facebook ad is to convert them. So you've got to help tell them a story and build a relationship by using every single key.
Now, we have one question just coming from Tasha. Where are you seeing the data? So, guys, if you have questions, by all means, ask us. This is what we're here for today. We're here to answer your questions. We'll step you through the process. I skipped that bit because we're having a conversation. But by all means, ask the questions that you want to know. So, Tasha's asked us, where are you seeing the data on other pages in your audience? Your audience is like, is it in Insights or Ad Manager?
So there's two places. One, you get the data on your fans in your Insights in your page.
Yep.
Then you will see what you can do is in Audience Insights, you can start out really raw by going, you know what, I just want people who are connected with my page.
Yep.
And you can go up to the top, up to the likes, and there you can see all of the pages that your audience that are connected with your page, you can see all the ones that they like. Or, for example, there's some standard ones. So if you want to target a mum in Australia, there are some pretty standard ones that you want to follow. Mum Central, HubSpot Parents,
Yep. KidSpot.
KidSpot, yeah, exactly. There's some pretty standard ones. Like I said, with the entrepreneurs, Gary Vaynerchuk, Marie Forleo, Marie Porterfield, all of those kinds of things.
Yep.
It's fairly standard. Or if you're not sure, just ask your fans. Look, we want to know what you're interested in. Tell us your favorite Facebook page. Just ask. Very simple.
Your audience will tell you a lot if you ask them something.
Absolutely.
Guys, and I don't know if I don't know if you saw this through, Kara. I did a post on Friday. Tell us about your weekend in song titles. There's actually a playlist created around it because it's two really good songs on it in BBB. But it told us a bit about what people's weekends were going to be about in a song title. So we did it a bit differently. But in saying that, it gave us also a bit of an idea of what type of music do our BBB members listen to.
Absolutely.
So we know something more about them.
Absolutely. Just ask. Seriously, just ask. You can ask in a Facebook post. You can ask in an email. You can send a message out to your top fans.
Yep.
Ask similar people in your friendship group, in your Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Ask them. Just ask. But Tasha, there are the tools. The two tools are your Facebook page Insights and the Audience Insights in the Ads Manager. So they're the two places.
So putting those figures together and making them work.
So yeah. So back to the image. So you need to keep it relevant. okay, to your audience and the product and service that you're actually offering. Keep it clear. A nice, bright, clear, simple image. Don't muddy it. Don't try and put too much information into it.
Gorgeous.
Keep it free of unnecessary text, because despite Facebook saying, oh, you know, we're not that strict on the 20% rule, they really are.
I promoted a Lumen 5 video the other day and they told me there was too much text in it. So it's a case of they do look at it, guys. They do look at the text component. And from a psychological marketing point of view, the brain can only take in one piece of information from any flyer, any Facebook ad, anything like that. So you want your key message to stand out, and that is it.
Correct. So, you know, make sure there are no slogans on t-shirts. Make sure there's no banners behind the image, because that will all add up to the text count. The other thing is some psychology of images. If you are putting a person in it, other than making sure that they're relevant and relatable, have them looking at the text.
Yes.
Have them looking out to the audience, so that they look engaging. They're the two key things, because what we will do psychologically is we will follow where the person's eyes are. So we will either look to the text, or we will develop a relationship between them. So that is a key. There's some research that says that black and white photos actually work just as well as colour photos. And if you're ever wondering what gender to put forward, unless you're specifically targeting a male audience, put a female.
Yep.
Because we tend to find females more approachable in a photo. I can't understand why. Certainly just, a female, clear photo, not a lot of text.
Kara, when you're promoting programs and stuff, so from my point of view, when I talk to people about promoting programs and books and images and those sorts of things, and promoting even if it's a free course or something they've got running, I talk to them about either promoting something of their target audience or promoting themselves, so that people relate to that image and relate to that person. And my conversation with my guys is, if you're going to do video, be in front of the camera as much as you possibly can, because we don't like death by PowerPoint. No one ever does. So if you can share and engage, and sometimes it's that one eye movement, but I talk to people about book covers and those sorts of things. If you're making a book cover and you want it to stand out and you've got a good image, use you. What's your thoughts on that one?
Oh, the thing is that most of us are trying to sell ourselves as a service. Yep. So put yourself out there. And I know it can be daunting, overwhelming to people. I'm an introvert. You would not believe it, but I'm actually an introvert. I've just had a lot of practice at doing this.
Yeah.
So put yourself out there, because you are trying to build a relationship. And the thing is that we can, whilst you may not know me from Jenny down the street, you know, to bump into me, the thing is you will be looking at my face and you go, you know what? I can see Kara's hand gestures. I can see her facial expressions. I can see her eyes are clear. She reminds me of XYZ that I know. She looks like an honest, trusting person.
So you get trust by association.
Correct.
Of who you remind people of. Yeah, it's a really big point.
Yeah.
And I think, guys, and I'll tell you from this, I spent my first 15 years of my career hiding behind a brand. I hid behind major brands, little brands, Family Capers brand, the Media Connections brand, and almost the business brand to a certain extent. Before one day, Media Connections, one of my girls on my team came and put a logo in front of me and said, "There's your logo. There's the basis of your website. We are personally branding you as of today." Yep. So I needed my butt kicked to get out there and put a personal brand out there. And I will say that in all honesty, guys, don't be afraid to actually go, I need some time for me in this process about putting yourself out there. I go on a crazy 7 days of talking, and God, I love getting in front of an audience and talking about what we do and seeing their ideas. But I've also just gone, I now have an extra workshop on the following Saturday after I finish that 7 days. And I went, I'm going to book myself out for 3 days in the office and going, right, that's it. That's my time. I'm having coffee. I'm writing. I might go to the hairdresser. I might do what I need to do. But that is part of putting your brand out there as an extrovert or an introvert or whatever it is that you do, is allowing that time for you as well. So when you do it, please put yourself out there, but also please look after yourself is a big thing.
Absolutely. And the other thing about it is, if you don't have a service and you have a product, the thing about putting yourself in there is that you put a face behind a brand.
Yep.
And you can give them a peek under the kimono, a peek behind the scenes as to what is happening in your brand. And it makes you more relatable. It's the story that sits behind your product that a lot of people will buy into. We buy into stories more than anything.
God. And
else.
We buy people.
Yeah.
People buy people. That's what we do.
It's a bit creepy, to be honest.
It does. It's a little bit scary, really, when you think about it. But they're the things that I would be advising anyone in an ad or a marketing strategy is, if you're the product, if you're the service, give the people behind the scenes.
Yep. Or if you're selling a physical product, there is nothing wrong with self-product placement.
Yep. In my case, in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, buy my book.
Exactly. And that means you don't have to pay an influencer either.
Yep. We do like influencers at Media Connections. We love them a lot.
There is a place for influencers.
Yeah, no, but there is a place for influencers, but there's a place for the ad strategy. So when we are putting that stuff out there, but I suppose we've delved off topic, but I wanted to make sure that everyone felt like that. But that's what happens when you get 2 marketers in the room.
So yeah, and I've got a really good story about making sure that you had the right image. So one of my clients does cosmetic tattooing, and she's like, everyone tells me that I need to put young, fresh women on the photo. She's like, but I don't want young, fresh women in my salon. I want, women who are mature, and who are looking after themselves and those kinds of things. It's like, well, don't put a photo of a young, fresh woman on it. And she was surprised it actually worked when we put a photo of a woman over the age of 50 actually in her advertising. It actually works. Do not listen to the hype. Listen to your audience.
Yep. Absolutely.
So the next part is the text. So people want to get to the ad text first. It's actually the last thing that you need to do. Tip about images, right? I use Adobe Spark Post. I do not use Canva for my images. I'm a massive advocate for Canva. Love it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I feel that it's totally overused. So I use Adobe Spark Post. Unfortunately, it only has an iOS app. It does not have an Android app.
WordSwag's another good one. I love WordSwag for both. Because we create a little bit of stuff. If you're going to use Canva, guys, play with the template, play with the design, play with all the features, change stuff up. I cannot say that enough. But WordSwag allows you to get a little bit more play in it. And they've got some great templates now for Facebook ads and cover images in there that weren't there when they first started.
The other good thing that I've found about Adobe Spark Post is that you can change the size of the ad or the image just by hitting a button, and it will change it around. And it's free.
I wish they had an Android version.
I wish they had an Android version too. It's one of the only reasons why I have an iPod. So they do have a desktop version, but it's not as good. It's clunky. So the text. So going top to bottom in your text, you need to call out your audience. So it's, hey mums, hey tired mums, hey Bendigo business owners, hey XYZ, whoever your audience is, wherever they happen to live, call them out, catch them in the babble of the news feed that they see scrolling past, because they know who they are. You need to make sure that they know that you are listening to them. So
what's your thoughts on all of those people calling people out in ads at the moment with little pictures and emojis and that sort of stuff on it?
I'm not a fan of emojis.
Neither am
I understand they work, but I'm not a fan. And here's a funny one. Being an Android user, they come up differently. They come up differently. So an eggplant may not be an eggplant.
It may be a little green monster.
Exactly. So generally, more often than not, you will get a rectangle with an X through it. So I will, especially if you're trying to be clever, and use emoji text. So you try to write stuff out in the emoji letters. Don't do it, because you will end up inadvertently skipping letters when it shows up on Android.
From my point of view, you don't want someone not understanding your ad because they don't have the right device. Or once they're trying to decipher your ad, they're not going to click on your ad. There's going to be no engagement if it's hard to decipher.
Correct. You're just trying to be witty. And I'm sorry, keep it simple.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, to be perfectly honest. And when people poo-poo Android devices, but the thing is that it is still over 50% of the audience.
Yep. And I'm a Samsung girl. I'm not moving. So sorry, guys.
Sorry. I've just bought a Note 8. I'm not moving either. So.
I'm looking at the S9 going, can I early upgrade?
So the next thing that you want to do is to appeal to your audience. Now, what I teach is there are 5 key motivators of human behavior. And I'm sorry, I'm going to keep banging on about understanding your audience. So what you then need to do is appeal to what motivates your audience. There'll be ones that you want to use, ones that you know that your clients will respond to best. That could be because that's what they tell you in testimonials or reviews. Yep. That's what you hear when they're asking questions. That's what sits in your frequently asked questions on your website. You will know some of them, but there are 5 key motivators. Pull out 1 or 2 of them, no more than that, and say that you understand what motivates them when it comes to that particular product or service. So, for example, some of the things that I've used is tired of not having your Facebook posts seen. Running a Facebook page doesn't have to be complicated. Want more time to spend with your family. These are some of the key motivators of a particular audience. And that's the next thing that you put in under calling out your audience. Think of the goals or the pain points or the results that you want that your audience wants to have, and speak to those. At the end, we all want to feel that we've been heard and understood by an audience. Yeah. I know what my problem is when I go into a shop, or if I'm dealing with a brand, I want to know that they've listened to me and that I'm understood. It's the most powerful connection. It's validation, and that's what you want for your audience. You want them to feel, look, it may seem all woo-woo and tree hugging, but it's just pure psychology.
It's true, but it works time and time again.
Yep. So that's the thing. Call out their pain points or their goals. The next thing is linked to a benefit. Tell them what they're going to end up at the end of it. So you've called out what they want, called them out to get their attention. You've told them that you've heard them. Guess what? We've heard you. We understand your pains. This is how you're going to end up at the end. Yep. So a few examples are, there is a simpler solution, and in this 8-week course, I'll outline how to make running a Facebook page easier, quicker, and more effective.
Who's not clicking on that?
I know, right? Using X will save you valuable time that can be dedicated to your family. Or we do the running around for you to save you time and money. There are generally 4 benefits that we want. We want things to be easier. We want an advantage. We want to reduce our risk, or we want to save some money. So you've got 4 main advantages if you don't know, if you haven't heard what your key benefits are from testimonials and things. So think of those 4. Go back and rewind and replay that.
Again and again, and maybe write it down and put it up on the wall.
Yeah. So the final part of your text is a call to action. You do actually have to tell them what to do.
Yes, please.
To play to the lowest common denominator. It may seem stupid and counterintuitive, but you really seriously do. So it is quite literally call now, book now, click on this link below.
To know more. It's the same everywhere. You want people to take action, you have to ask them to take action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do it. And the thing is, a word of warning, right? If you are getting them to click on a link and you take them outside of Facebook, be prepared to lose people.
Yep.
Because there is this, it's sat for the last 18 years that I've been doing websites. You move someone to the next page, you will lose them. Yep. So I am a firm believer, and the $199 service was a Facebook ads messenger.
Yep.
So get them to click to send you a message. You can set up auto responses in Facebook ads messenger. Really simple. You don't have to have complicated chatbots.
Yep.
Or get them to call now. So you
get
someone on the other end of the phone so that you can then talk to them, especially if you're great at converting on
the phone. Yep.
Keep it simple. Don't make them fill out a massive lead form to get information from you, because you will lose people. So that's the steps that I take with the audience, the image, and the text. How to make it all cheaper, because this was the thing, and these are the ninja tips. So if you're one of the 30% that have never run a Facebook ad, or the 70% that have run Facebook ads once or twice and really aren't too sure, stick with what I've just taught you.
Yep.
If you've done some Facebook ads and you are ready for some ninja tips to move to the next level, then this bit's for you. And I hope you've been able to pick up some stuff to make your ads better.
Now, guys, don't leave, because we're going to throw Q&A open in a little while. So don't stress. Please stay along. Don't leave, because we've got ninja tips, because you'll need these down the track anyway.
You will. So what this is now is about stacking ads. So the first one is retargeting ads. So you've got this new audience that you've done with this original ad. You might have sent them to your website to look and buy a product.
Yep.
That's probably the only one that you would go off onto your website to do. And they may have abandoned their cart. Use your Facebook pixel to retarget those people with another ad. The best way to retarget that I find is with a video. Retarget with a video and go, because it's different. Rather than seeing, have you ever been to a shoe? I've been to plenty of shoe websites, and I see the shoes following me all around Facebook. It would be better if they retargeted me with a video and said, did you know that there's this benefit? Or we saw that you didn't check out. Had you seen these options? Either a quick, 20 to 30 second video is a perfect way to retarget. And it can work for not just products, but services as well, to build this relationship and get them back.
Exactly.
Because, there's retargeting ads, we get busy. Right, and the reason why you have a retargeting ad is because someone's abandoned their cart more time than not.
Yep. And even coming from selling courses, guys, I get people who've said to me, I thought I registered. I thought I've paid for it. And they haven't clicked through that final step. They haven't hit the connect to PayPal button, or the connect, put the credit card details in. They forget, or the computer crashes, or something happens that stops them.
The kids come in and distract them.
That bit, especially when you're buying shoes. I know, that's shocking. Normally she goes, my one's going, I would like those ones, Mummy, and those ones. And I'm like, get away, these are my shoes.
But, retarget them with a video, a quick video. It's going to build the relationship. If, for example, they hadn't been distracted and they're on the edge of whether or not they're going to buy. So use the Facebook pixel. If you don't know how to put it in there, pay someone to put the pixel in. It's very easy and simple. It's a quick job. And there would be people in the business
There's lots of them
who can do it for you.
And I was going to say, guys, if you're using a WordPress site, WooCommerce has got it automatically built in there now for you to put the pixel in. It is so easy to do.
Perfect.
I know. Such lovely. Love what the guys are doing there. But dude, put the pixels in. It's easy. Talk to your web guys. They should be able to do it for you.
Yep. And the thing is that once you then use your Facebook pixel and run a retargeting ad, and it has to be set up as a separate ad to that original ad of what we've just talked about. What it is you then get what's called a warm audience, and it's cheaper to target them because you've got a very narrow and specific audience that you know are interested, and you are chasing all around Facebook. So you're not trying to target all of the people trying to target Marie Forleo or Gary Vaynerchuk. You're just wanting to get those people that have been pixeled.
Yep.
So it comes down to cents in the dollar when you're running a retargeting ad using a Facebook pixel.
And brand awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it comes down to.
Which is why a video is the perfect way to retarget. It just builds that relationship and the brand awareness so beautifully.
And guys, with Facebook ads to begin with, you're already on a platform. I say this when we talk about PR and marketing. You're on a platform someone already trusts. Okay, so people have got Facebook in their hand. They trust Facebook. They see your retargeting ad pop up on Facebook. Oh, gee, they're doing Facebook. Because they may not have found you from Facebook in the first place. They may have found you through some other source, and now you're popping up on their trusted source of Facebook. I cannot stress retargeting has so much power. Please, when you get to that stage, do use it.
Yep. The next one that I use is lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences are beautiful. MailChimp. So if you've got your list in MailChimp, I don't know about Aweber or Action.
I'm an MailChimp, campaign.
But MailChimp automatically has this link between itself and Facebook audiences. And so what it will do, if someone signs up to your MailChimp campaign, it will put them over into your audience on Facebook. And what then happens is you can go, oh, you know, all the people that I've got on my mail list in MailChimp, I want you to go and find more of those people.
Yes.
So once again, you're not trying to target the high-end people. You're trying to get more of what you've already got.
And especially for leads campaigns, especially when you're getting someone to fill in a form.
Correct.
The people who are already on your list are the people you want to be attracting, like the same type of people that you want to be attracting. Yes, love those leads campaigns.
Perfect if you're about to launch a course or launch a product, getting more of the same thing. We all want more of the same thing. More of the people that will sign up or buy. So use these.
And I've played with lookalike audiences. I haven't played with the MailChimp lookalike audience. So that's where I'm heading this afternoon. You've seen me with a glass of wine in hand later on today going, right, I'm going to work out this MailChimp lookalike audience thing.
It used to be really difficult. You used to have to download an Excel file and then upload it to Facebook audiences. It was really difficult to make sure they were all coded the same and all the columns, and it's just, no, sorry.
Tasha, if you're still watching, we need you to start looking at doing that. Tasha's one of my clients. So I'm just going to give her instructions from here. We need you to start looking at doing that for that campaign we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so Tasha, grab that MailChimp integration and whack them over into Facebook, create an audience off of your MailChimp list. And then she says she's already excited. Perfect. Yay! Then create a lookalike audience off of that. So you've got 2 steps with that one.
Tasha's actually got a really unique audience. So she is, and I'm going to spill the beans, but because if you haven't already checked out what this woman is doing, you need to check it out. Tasha is a natural fertility expert.
Ooh.
But a natural fertility expert who, like me, went through the journey of you've been told all your life it's going to be incredibly easy to fall pregnant. And then all of a sudden you get to the I want to fall pregnant bit and it's not.
Yep.
So I love working with Tasha because I keep saying to her, I would have paid that. I would have done this. I would have done, I know that mindset of what I was like in that particular period of time. But she also gets it. And I know from going through the fertility journey myself, I wanted someone who actually got what I was going through.
Oh, God, yeah. You didn't need some man in his 50s telling you what you had to do.
I did have some man in his 50s, but his wife had actually gone through IVF, and that's what set him through the IVF journey, which is really funny. But you look at it and you want that support, you want that knowledge. So Tasha runs a website called Conceive Baby. She also is now out consulting, doing her own stuff. So her ads and the campaigns we're looking at running are for her online program.
Yep. That's about relationship, Linda,
Yep.
because you can relate to Tasha.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you're in this minefield of infertility or, low fertility, you want somebody that you can relate to and that you can trust.
And I used to say I did not want a childless person telling me how to become a mum.
Absolutely not.
I used to say that in my very early parenting journeys. Don't tell me how my child should sleep unless you are actually sleeping. Unless you've actually got a child trying to sleep.
Exactly.
And you're sleeping. If you're sleeping with a child, then I'll start taking your sleeping advice.
If you're successful at it, and you actually walked a mile in my shoes.
But think about it, guys. If we're wanting to relate to our audiences in that one, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to prove that you can walk the talk that you do. It's part of our tagline for Business, Business, Business. We're a community for business owners created by business owners. We're not a publication out there telling you how to run your business. We actually live and breathe business every day of the week with you.
And the thing is that with these insights, to follow on from that, is you need to be strategic with these kinds of things. If you're doing these ninja tips with retargeting videos, because you can retarget people who have watched 25-50% of your Facebook lives or videos. Yep. That was actually something that was being talked about at Social Media Marketing World, is creating an audience off of someone who's
Facebook Live
of your video off of your Facebook Live. Be strategic about this stuff. Stack these ads. Drive people to your website, and then retarget them with a video. And then if that doesn't get them back, then retarget them with something else. You can stack these ads. It's not a one-off set and forget kind of thing. Drive people to your mail list. Retarget people off of your mail list with offers. It's a very cheap way to run a Facebook ad. So what I had, and this is the end of it. I mean, I can't believe it. And we've got 6 minutes, so I'm going to
we're going to throw questions.
So the thing is you would have seen that we've got this overarching theme that Linda and I spoke about, of knowing and understanding your audience, understand their demographics as well as what motivates them, which is what's called psychographics. It helps to build a relevant and engaging content, which is the key to the new Facebook algorithm. It's the key to running a successful Facebook ad. It's the key to running a successful Facebook page. It's key to any PR, Linda's
exactly. PR and audience, it's a key to all your, I'm going to say from the point of view, it's a key to all your marketing. If you do not know who your audience is, then you cannot market to them.
Yep. So that's it. Questions, guys,
throw it open. So I'm going to cover my key takeaways is know who your audience is today. Be able to get in there and use your insights to your advantage. So jump into your page insights, look at your competitors that are out there that you can maybe target into, and use targeting your ads, because once again, if you're trying to grow market share and market base, then that's going to be one of the things to get out there. And obviously keep your message simple. They would be my key takeaways from today's session, is about keeping your message simple and being strategic about what we actually put out there.
Yep. Call your audience out and tell them what you want them to do.
Absolutely. So guys, if you have any questions, pop them in the Q&A box, pop them in the chat box. I'm hoping Clive's watching the Facebook live feed, but I might just jump in there quickly and just see if there's any questions that have popped on the Facebook live feed as well. If you have any questions post-webinar, as always, Kara and I will always be here to answer those sorts of things. So please feel free to jump in there and ask us any questions that you might have. I'm popping in. I can't see anything on the Facebook live stream, so I'm
Linda,
thinking
there were two things that I wanted to offer the guys who were watching live or watching the replay. Two things. Linda, about one.
Wow.
I got bonus stuff.
Yeah, so, you can do two.
Thank you. Well, the first is a freebie.
Nice. Love a freebie.
Love a freebie. So like I said, and like Linda was saying, knowing your audience, and what I've scratched the surface on about understanding what motivates your audience and how that applies on Facebook and your ads and your page. I've got a little bit more about that in a freebie download.
Awesome.
So if you go to bit.ly/FBweight.
bit.ly
Yep.
/FBweight.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'll pop these links into the replay as well, guys, so that you've got it there.
You'll be able to get that one.
Yep.
The other one is one that Linda knows about.
Yes.
And it is an offer for those who want some one-on-one coaching with me about Facebook ads. We can go through, I can check your pixel, I can check the ad text, I can check the audience, or I can help you build any of those things. We can look at building out a broader campaign with retargeting ads and things like that. So I've got an offer for 2 hours of coaching for $295, and to grab that offer.
Yep.
Another bit.ly link.
Another bit.ly link.
No, I love bit.ly links. The bit.ly/BBB.
BBB.
Business.
Yay.
FB ads offer.
FB ads offer. Okay. Guys, that is a prime opportunity for you to be able to get in there with your Facebook ads, whether you're playing with Facebook ads, whether you're considering running a campaign. Really, the investment to have a look at whether your copy's right, whether your imagery is right, all of that sort of stuff with Kara is huge. So take that opportunity up. You're going to go grab the freebie anyway, because I know everyone's going to go and grab that freebie, because I'm heading off there very shortly myself. So by all means, look at your Facebook ads, look at your retargeting, look at all of those opportunities. Kara is in the group. If you need to ask questions, ask questions. We are there to help. We have one more. We've got, thank you so much. This is wonderful. Yes, it is really, really wonderful. Thanks for joining us, Laura. We've got a question popping up here as well. Thanks heaps is popping in. So everyone's enjoyed our information. That's from Andrew. Guys, thank you for joining us. Now, our next webinar is on the 27th, because I'm actually away next week. So our next webinar is on the 27th with Patty from Thinkific. We are covering how to turn the knowledge that you have and you already share into an online course. So this is one where Patty and I are going to most probably be similar conversation like this one. The bonus of that one is Patty and I, our commitment to helping you guys get your course and knowledge out there on Thinkific is huge this year. There's a course creation mastermind that you get to join in as well. All of those sorts of things. If you're taking a paid account with Thinkific, then you're going to be able to get access to both of us for no more than what you're paying on your Thinkific fee. I know. It's a bit,
that's a bargain.
I know. We think we were both having a glass of wine while we're doing that. So we've created our own little Facebook community over there to help you grow your courses and those sorts of things. Thinkific is a great, easy to use platform. Patty and I are going to teach you how to turn your knowledge into an online course. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. Yes, I absolutely love the classroom, and there's something in classroom training that I don't particularly get online, but I also get that we have members across the country and across the world that want to access the training and information that both Clive and I have to share. So that is why we took the journey about this time last year and created our first Thinkific course. We think we did the Educate Your Market Challenge in April last year, which is crazy, really.
Yeah.
I think that we've been doing it for that long. So that is our webinar. That is our next upcoming skills webinar. We have got some amazing webinars popping up too, and I've heard from Ben from Missing Letter. There's some new stuff coming out, so we're going to be back with Ben in. I know, you tools.
I love Missing Letter.
It's one of my faves. And if you haven't had a chance, if you head to the business.com.au/skills page, you can get access to all of our webinar replays. So they are all there archived for you. And this one will be there later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning as well. I would like to thank Kara for joining us and sharing her expertise and knowledge on Facebook ads. I'm sure we'll be chatting again later on in the year, catching up. And if you haven't heard, guys, we're putting together the Facebook, the Virtual Business Summit, and I've invited Kara to come and put some information and tips into that one as well. So that's going to be huge later on this year, launching hopefully in August if the time and plan gets right. And it's a big year for the BBB community.
Yeah,
so
it's big. It's all happening.
Well, we're year 4 as a group, and year 3 as a full-on. We hit 5,000 members 3 years ago, so. That was when we made the decision that we were to spend some more time in this community and grow it. So thanks for joining us, guys. Have an amazing week. Pop any questions you have in the group if you need them, and we'll be there to answer them. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kara.
Thanks.